Hello to all my many followers. It's Nez coming to you, playing a different game again in the good old Cthulhu mythos, but I couldn't help myself but have my next video be an Eldritch Horror playthrough. So today we are going to be starting a game of Eldritch Horror with all of the three the base game, the Forsaken Lore expansion, and the new Mountains of Madness expansion. So I'm excited to play a game through with you. But before I do so, I wanted to kind of pan out here. And first, I'm now in a very much finished basement. Woohoo! So we've moved. I have my same bar set up for awesome gaming experiences. And I'm excited to do another video playthrough for y'all. So, as you can see, I have the entire game options kind of laid out right at the beginning for us here. And why I've done that is, one, to show some of the new stuff that comes with Mountains of Madness. So, one of the new things that people either like or pretty much hate at this juncture are the Prelude cards. I've only played 2 games of this thus far, so I like them. They're interesting, but I do hope that they add more eventually, because obviously those 6 different preludes are going to get somewhat stale after time. There are now 7 baddies that we can go against. We're going to choose one at random because, well, you know how much I like random. And there are now 20 investigators. So the game's starting to flesh out quite a bit. And that I like quite a bit. Also within this expansion you get some new tasks and some other unique items that come up in various situations. The unique asset deck, the common item deck, and the spells have all increased quite a bit. The mythos possibilities are now quite higher. You can ignore the extra dice back there. I happen to be using some dice from Dead of Winter, which is an awesome game. Not super soloable though. So let's go ahead and get started. What we're going to do here is we're going to choose a random prelude card, and they tell us to do that before you set up the game, so I'll be doing that. And it's important to note that this lovely sideboard here that I have set up, I leave it set up, but I think I like this quite a bit. It only is going to come into play if we happen to randomly choose the Rise of the Elders thing, Ancient One, or if we get one of the Antarctica Prelude card. So that's going to be interesting, because otherwise that board does not come into play. I'm not going to force it to come into play. It's fun. I'll move a little bit of stuff around here just so you can see. You kind of go from the Miskatonic Outpost, and then you can go through Antarctica. I find that when I have played with it, I just played with it once, it seemed to add a lot of ease to the game. And I know people complain about that quite a bit, but it seems like you're kind of bailed out at most of those locations, and there's, you know, pretty easy things to do once you get there. And the encounters in general I haven't found to be too difficult. But again, if you want to see that board for sure, there's 2 great playthroughs, one by the Lonesome Gamer, and I forget who did the other one, but I've been watching that. Petruvian. He did a really great playthrough of one of the I think he used Yig and was going on this other board with the specific prelude card. So the exciting thing is as you can see, I'm not setting anything up. I'm playing randomly, and you're going to play along with me, or watch along with me, I guess I should say. So let's go ahead and see which prelude card we get first. 4. All right. We have the Ultimate Sacrifice. All right, looks like you can read that well. People thought them foolish, troubled, or mad. However, they persisted. For all their efforts, they were the first to fall before the coming threat, and they will not be the last. You must finish the work they started. The world depends on it. All right, before resolving step 3 of the setup, choose and place investigators, draw 2 random investigator sheets. Place the corresponding investigator tokens on their starting spaces, respectively, as defeated investigators. place a health token on the first investigator and a sanity token on the second. Then place each defeated investigator's starting possessions, blah, blah, blah. And one random face-down artifact on his investigator sheet. Okay. And then advance doom by 2. Well, I hope that we don't get that against Yig. That's going to make the game pretty ridiculously short. But okay, that's a little bit of a different flair. So I'm going to go ahead and put that over there. I've read about that Prelude card. I've not played with it, so that's going to be interesting. By the way, I hope you guys like the new lighting I have over here. I feel like this is just perfect for making board game video. So, still using my iPhone, by the way. I happen to get a GoPro camera, but those don't work for this type of thing at all. So, hoping to get a good handheld at some point. So, based on that, we need to choose 2 investigators first. So, I've just got them lined up at the top 1 to 8, 9 through 16, and then, 17 through 20. So, let's see who the dead investigator is. 18, that's going to be Wilson Richards, one of the new guys. So he's going to be the dead one. And then we also are going to need a sanity token for the next one. Okay, and our second one to go by the wayside, number 10. So 8, 9, 10. Oh, poor Jim Culver. All right, so as a reminder, I will set those up. I won't keep recording when I set that up, but those are going to be our dead and insane investigators that start the game. Kind of fun, kind of a fun wrinkle. And now it's time to choose the 3 investigators that we're going to go with in this game. I like 4 in Arkham Horror. I like 3 in this game. I just feel it adds a little bit more challenge. Not saying this game needs to be more challenging, but regardless. Let's choose our 3 investigators, and then I'm going to set them up a little bit and come back. So for Silas Marsh, just played with him in my last game, actually. I like him quite a bit. I'm not going to read the flavor text. Well, sure, why not? I'll read the flavor text for you. Even as a child in Innsmouth, Silas had a special connection with the sea. He's an able and well-reasoned man on land, but on the ocean, he possesses a singular strength and wit. It's earned him a sterling reputation in every part across the globe, particularly in Sydney, where Silas set ashore last night. This morning, the smell of the briny air carries dread as well as joy. There is something in his past, something in Innsmouth, that he knows will someday catch up to him. So he's a really good water dude. If you know this game at all, you've seen him before, but he gets to move along ship paths very easily, and he also gets to roll 1 additional die when resolving tests. Great dude, very balanced, and then he's definitely a brute, not so much of a sanity dude. So Silas is going to be our first investigator. Interesting enough, he was my first investigator in my last game. All right, 18 has already died, so Wilson Richards will not be joining us. 12, so we got 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Leo Anderson. And Leo, I played with him once before, I believe. Leo Anderson has spent his whole life getting into the deadliest and most obscure corners of the globe. Along the way, he's lost good people. Fever takes some, others are claimed by wild beasts. After a recent disastrous venture in the Yucatan, Leo barely made it back to Buenos Aires alive. He's sick of burying the people who trusted him. But the job's not done yet. The world is in danger, and crying in his drink won't fix that. He's picked up a little hired help here, and in the morning, he'll head back out into the wild. All right, so Leo is really an ally dude, which in some scenarios I have found with this new board or this new expansion, allies are very important. Although I lost my last game due to a Mythos card and because I had allies. But anyway, and this is, he gets to roll 1 additional die in a wilderness space. Kind of fun to have those 2 together. All right, let's find out our 3rd investigator. that'll be joining us. I hope it's a new guy, but again, I'm all about the random. So 11, that is going to be, I believe, Mark Harrigan. Yep, 10, 11. Mark Harrigan. Let's pick one of the new guys. I'm gonna go away for just a second from my normal love of random, and I'm going to pick one of the 7 remaining new characters. So I'm going to roll 20. And 1 to 14 I'd be able to use. 15 I'm not going to be able to. 9. So 1, 2. So that's going to be Tommy Muldoon, the rookie cop. Because there's 7 new investigators left, and so I know that Patrice is 8 and Tommy is 9. So I've not used Tommy. I know that the Lonesome Gamer did. He died in that horrible, tragic game. But most members of the Muldoon family are part of the Boston police force in some way or another. Not long ago, the youngest brother, Tommy, got his badge. Armed with an eye for detail, fierce courage, and his trusty rifle, Becky, young Muldoon is dedicated to law enforcement. Now he finds himself in Anchorage at the request of his cousin, the local sheriff. Something has been killing people, and off the record, his cousin said it's a Wendigo. Tommy's not sure he believes in any of that, but catching killers is in his blood. Tommy, the rookie, Muldoon. All right. So let's go ahead and get all of these people set up. Actually, before we do that, let's go ahead and choose our ancient one too. So again, I've got 7 ancient ones, so we're going to do the 20-sider, 1 to 14. Let's do this. 9. So we're going to go against Cthulhu, right? Nope. Ithaqua. Cool. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ithaqua. All right. I have not played against him. This will be fun. The weather has grown cold, and the aurora borealis glows bright in the northern skies, visible even during the day. A strange madness has begun affecting those around the Arctic Circle, and travelers returning from the north speak of visions of an ancient civilization. All right, so it looks like we're getting cold. Some good hypothermia conditions. Cool. So I'm going to go ahead and set this game up and clear off this board of ours. Alright, we're back. Now, the game is set up. We've got a couple monsters here that have to set aside for Ithaqua. Looking at his sheet, so he's all about hypothermia conditions. His cultists give you hypothermia conditions. You also get it during Reckoning, which is kind of interesting because you can't get more than 1 hypothermia condition, so you almost, I wonder if it would be better just to accept the fact that you're going to get hypothermia. I don't know, we'll see. Got our 2 defeated investigators there, and we've got our first gate spawned at the Amazon, which is, again, something that would only happen because of Mountains of Madness. And we also have a new monster, the Hunting Horror. This guy's brutal. He's going to move every single time that we get Reckoning, and also attack the investigators. So I realized when I did setup, I didn't look at Tommy's special stuff. So you get to move 1 monster of your choice with toughness 3 or less for an adjacent space to your space. I don't think that's going to end up being super helpful, but we'll see. And then during an encounter phase, other investigators on your space may choose an encounter as if there are no monsters on the space. So if he's like guiding somebody, I guess he's a help, but otherwise I kind of feel he's a little bit weak. He starts with carbine rifle and his will improved. Leo has higher muscle because he's an ally dude, and Silas has a fishing net, which allows him to reroll 1 die during combat encounters. The expedition encounter is in Rome. That's one of the new perks of Mountains of Madness as well. Alright, so before we get started, we're about ready to flip the first mystery, just want to cover a couple house rules. I only allow 2 investigators to be defeated in this game, again, obviously after our 2 ones that are already defeated. The reason behind that, I don't like how you can, sometimes it can even be strategic And no offense meant to the Lonesome Gamer at all. But for example, like in his game, he thought it was strategic to kill off Tommy. So I only allow 2 new investigators to enter the game, which adds a little bit more careful or care to your team of investigators. I also have a house rule that when an investigator is defeated, I advance doom by 2. I don't like the whole advance doom by 1, but then go and get all that guy's assets and retreat doom by 1 type of mechanic. So it should be really painful when one of your original investigators get defeated. So those are just my house rules. I also have a house rule that if you have an ally, you can use an ally and a item kind of combined to a certain extent, and that's only in certain circumstances that will that ever come up. But I kind of feel like if you're able to gain extra die from an ally during an encounter, you also should be able to use an item because an ally is kind of part of your party. Again, it just makes more thematic sense. I don't know if it breaks the game much at all. So I think that's really my only big house. No, there's one other house rule. So Ithaca, as you can see here, starts with 0 green cards and 2 yellows and 2 blues in stage 1. So every game, I set up the Mythos deck, but then before I do stage 1, or after I pick the stage 1 cards, I mix together all the green and yellow cards to make just a little bit more, and then I choose 1. So the Mythos deck has 1 extra card than this setup dictates. The reason behind that, I don't like to exactly know what's going to happen in stage 1. I don't like to be able to say, oh, well, I've had 2 blue cards, so I know that there's going to be 2 yellow cards upcoming. I like to have a little bit of mystery, like, is there a green card still in there somewhere? So just something that I do to lengthen the game a little bit. I don't love the whole, hey, the Mythos deck ran out, the game's over thing. So that's another way to just do something about that, at least in a minor fashion. So let's go ahead and pick our starting investigator. I'm going to do it random, and it's going to be Silas to start out the game. So let's go ahead and pick that first mystery. All right. We have exploring hypothermia. All across the Northern Hemisphere, people have said to have visions of an ancient civilization. The visions are strongest in Greenland, where the cities of Hyperborea are cast into reality. Not hypothermia, Hyperborea. So when this card enters play, place a mystery token in space 9. As an encounter, an investigator in space 9 may travel through the veil between worlds and explore the ancient continent of Hyperborea. He draws and resolves an exploring Hyperborea special encounter at the end of the Mythos phase if there are Eldritch tokens on this card equal to half. So I need to do that twice. Okay, investigator in space 9 may travel through. Okay, so you just need to do that twice. Seems easy enough. Alrighty. Alright, so let's kind of purvey our situation here. Leo's got a pretty easy decision here, I think, right off the bat. He's got the higher muscle, which gives him 1 extra strength, and then I think he's going to try and test his influence. He probably won't get it, but regardless, I think it's bank low in time, get the Spirit Dagger going up, close that gate as soon as possible. I think that's a pretty easy decision for him. For Mr. Silas over here, he is somewhat close to the heart of Africa, so I think I may have him... Actually, I think he's going to come down and try and get this clue right off the bat, because I'm sure clues will come in handy eventually. This first mystery doesn't really matter in that regard. So I think that's what we're going to do with Silas. So Tommy, I'm pretty sure we might as well try and have him go over and rescue, or I guess retrieve, what happens to these dudes. The thing is that I haven't looked at those encounters yet, and I would like to pass them. Retreating Doom would be good in this game, right off the bat. But so that's kind of my thought process. It's not perfect, but there's who knows what the ideal moves ever are to start the game, right? So, like I said, Silas, because he has his cool ability where he gets to move and then, move one space, then perform another action. So, he's going to just go through Antarctica and head to space 12, which is in the sea, which is what he likes to do. And we're going to go ahead with the other action, get some focus. So we're going to do that right off the bat. Focus is a good addition to the game, I think, because it does allow you to kind of get mentally prepared for what is coming in the game, and rerolls are often needed. So it seems like in this game, possibly against Ithaqua, we may need more focus anyway because of his hypothermia condition reckoning effect. So that was his move. Pretty easy. Leo. Well, we're going to see if we can get really lucky and get 2 successes here. Not super likely, but if I can, that means that we get that without taking the loan. Oh, this may be a good game, y'all. Got boxcars right off the bat. So Spirit Dagger goes to Leo. That was lucky. Cat Burglar comes out. And then with his second action, he's going to move into the Amazon and get ready to fight that hunting horror. And, I don't think improving observation would be a bad thing necessarily. I may have him just stay in San Francisco for a turn, see if he can. He's balanced. But in general, I don't, unless he uses his encounter phase, other investigators in our space may choose encounter if there's no monsters. I don't know. So he is a monster killer. We probably need to use that eventually. But his other actions are not all that beneficial. They're not all that cool. So kind of weak character in my opinion. But we'll see. Maybe he turns out to be the dude that, saves the world. So he's going to go down to San Francisco. And for his other action, he does have 3 influence. He's a cop after all. So let's go ahead and see if we can get some sort of item here. Nope, he's not rolling well. Is there anything on here worth using? I could use a bank loan and get the cat burglar and tear gas, but I don't think I want to do that. So, not going to do that. That's his turn. Alrighty then. Let's start the encounters, shall we? Silas. He is going to do his clue encounter against Ithaqua. So he is on the sea space, so he gets to roll extra dice, which is nice. I'll try and get the light. There you go. You discover one of the sailors performing some ritual on the ship's deck at night. You follow him to the cabin and question him. Observation -1. Alright, his observation is 3, -1, but then +1 because he's on a sea space. Let's see if he can get this clue. Well, there we go. Now do we use the focus? I think we do. Right off the bat, I don't want to fail this. We did anyway. Alright, so not successful. Shoot. If you pass, he is resistant to your interrogation, but you manage to learn of his allegiance to the wizard Elbon. So, don't get to gain the clue. That's unfortunate. Indeed. Alright, Leo needs to fight this dude first. He's a scary monster, so you could definitely lose some sanity on this one, but the Spirit Dagger helps. So he's in a wilderness, so he also gets to use an extra die. So the horror check, we've got will -1, so -1 is 2, +1 because it's in a wilderness space, and then plus another 1 because the Spirit Dagger gives him 4 dice. So Mr. Boxcars, see if he can avoid getting any sanity lost. He doesn't. He does get 1 sanity loss from this hunting horror. It is a horrific monster, that is for sure. And then for his strength, he doesn't get any minus dice, so he gets 3 plus 1 for being on the wilderness space, 4, 5 with Iron Muscle, and 6, 7 with the Spirit Dagger. So that is a nice combo there. Alright, so 7 dice. See if we can take care of this hunting horror just like that. We need 3 successes. We have 2 successes, so that did keep us from getting damage. He takes 2 damage, so I will grab a couple health tokens. So the hunting horror is almost dead, but he does not get to go through that gate, so that will stay right there. Alright, cool. And then finally, Tommy is in San Francisco, so let's do it, Tommy. Alrighty. Put this down. You are invited to the Hearst Castle and find yourself surrounded by the best and brightest. You may become delayed to stay for a few days. If you become delayed, you pick up some amazing talents and improve one skill of your choice. Well, I said I wanted the observation. It's early in the game. I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. So, Tommy's going to be delayed in San Francisco. And again, pretty strong character as it is. So I think we'll go ahead and, yeah, increase observation. That's what I was going for in the first place. Boom. Okay, cool. So that is our 3 investigators encounter phase. Wasn't great, wasn't bad either. Got close to taking out that first monster right off the bat. The interesting thing is, I actually want the Reckoning if I can get it, because I immediately encounter it. It's almost dead, so I cannot worry about it on my next turn and do what I would like there on that turn. So it's Mythos time. So let's see what we got. Alright, let's move it. Move the Omen track to blue. Don't need to worry about that. Reckoning time. So, there's no Mythos cards that have Reckoning at this juncture. So we are going to, is it monsters first? I always forget the order. Yep, monsters first. So, we actually have to encounter this again. Alright, same old, same old. How many dice did I get again? 3, 4, 5, and then 4. 4 dice. So. Ooh, that wasn't good. He lost 3 sanity this time. The hunting horror is, well, indeed horrific. So, 3 sanity lost. Alright, you should be able to knock him out pretty easily, so he still gets the 7 dice. Oh, you know what? I could re-roll 1 die on a resolving strength test. I'm not going to do it now, but something to consider. Alright, we got that 1 success, so the hunting horror is indeed dead. But he did some damage to Leo. 4 sanity gone. That was a horrific monster. Alright, so that's the end of the monster. Ithaqua. Each investigator gets hypothermia unless he spends 1 focus. Well, you know what? None of them have focus, so let's go ahead and get hypothermia. I'll be right back. Alright, and sure enough, they all have hypothermia now. So, the thing about hypothermia that I didn't realize when I was starting the game, when you gain another hypothermia condition, flip this card instead. There's no reckoning, which is a little different, so we do have to be careful about this. I thought that whole fact was going to be kind of silly, but yeah, this could be bad. So lots of resting is possibly necessary here. Alright, so that's the Reckoning from Ithaqua. We don't have any Reckoning on possessions at this juncture. So that's the end of Reckoning. And then we do spawn a gate and a monster. So next gate goes to London. And let's get ourselves a monster. It is a cultist. So, cultists, if you lose health, the cult shows you. So let's not lose health against cultists, shall we? All right, let's see what this good Mythos card is going to give us. I'm excited. You drop a penny into the peculiar mechanical device. The automaton waves its hands and turns over a card bearing the words, "Good luck is with you." The lead investigator may move the own track to a space of his choice without advancing doom. Well, I mean, woohoo, not all that helpful at this juncture, but whatever. I guess probably the other blue. Yeah, we'll just skip that red. Although I'm hoping to close that gate anyway here. Alright, so that's the end of that turn. And I think I'm going to go ahead and upload this, and I hope you continue to join me on my adventure as I play Eldritch Horror with Forsaken Lore and the Mountains of Madness.